it's never easy to win in the playoffs, particularly against these Vancouver Canucks and the way these played in these playoffs. What does it say about the Edmonton Oilers that, a minute after they have to be stunned by the Vancouver comeback, they can find a way to win the game?
Resilience, because, yes, Vancouver had the big push in the third period. They get back and they score the 2 goals. The building is quiet. You can tell there is some angst there, but they find a way to settle right back in and get right back on the forecheck. And we all are sitting here thinking, okay, you know what, this is going to go to overtime. But watch Evander Kane. This is physical right there on Hronek, right through the body, gets a little stick in on Zadorov and continues the push. Now they keep it in. Draisaitl goes to work, looking for options. Down to Kane, pops to him, but they win loose puck battles and they stick with it. They're not running out the clock. Now watch Draisaitl, looking for options right through the middle. Now it's Evan Bouchard. Finds a lane and beats Sheilov through the body. But it all starts with the physicality of Evander Kane, getting on the forecheck and separating player from puck, and then Draisaitl doing the rest.
Yeah, I mean, there's a maturity now to the Edmonton Oilers game. The secondary scoring was there, the primary scoring was there, the goaltending, a big part of the victory in all of this. But, now Vancouver's got a problem. Connor McDavid was buzzing out there. Leon Draisaitl looks healthy. Yeah. He was a physical force in this hockey game. Verbally, he was chirping, so he's engaged there. And then we saw the end result because he was key on what turned out to be the game-winning goal for the Edmonton Oilers. The big hit by Kane, puck comes below the goal line, and you know that Draisaitl's going back to the point with Bouchard taking that shot. Earlier in the night, he lures JT Miller into a penalty. Ill-timed, of course, that's the emotion. And then on the subsequent power play, yeah, it's McDavid to Leon Draisaitl, and he fires it off the knee. So healthy Leon Draisaitl that's going to be tough for the Canucks.
Let's hear from the aforementioned Leon Draisaitl.
Yeah, unbelievable. What an awesome guy. What an awesome story. All year he's given us a chance to win, and every time he's in there, it seems like he's standing on his head. So super proud of him. Not an easy thing to do too. Really, really hard. So very, very happy for him.
Leon, you come back. You give up a late goal. Obviously, I'm assuming a lot of frustration. How do you remain calm in that moment as you're lying to regroup and go on the attack?
Yeah, I thought Kaner did an unbelievable job there. When things like that happen, it's a bit of a shock, and sometimes you can get on your heels a little bit and just let's get this into overtime. But he goes in, he forechecks hard. That goal is all Kaner.
Another big goal from Evan. That's 2 game winners in crucial times for you.
Yeah.
Shot is.
Yeah. Great player. It's been amazing for us, obviously, all year, and especially in big moments. So it's a big goal for us.
You guys were rolling 4 lines deep into this game. I feel like this was a real night where everybody had a chance to contribute.
Yeah, for sure. Everyone contributed. Everyone played well. That's the way we have to play. But that being said, sometimes, from the outside, I think it's easy to be on the coach and say, why is he playing guys so much? In certain moments, that's just the way the game goes sometimes. But definitely more of the rhythm and game that, makes us a really good team.
You control that game for a long time. Is there ever any frustration having been able to kind of take advantage of that into more goals?
I wouldn't say frustration, but I definitely think that, we deserve, a couple more goals falling our way, or maybe a bounce or 2 going our way to maybe really take the game over and make it 3-0 or whatever it is. But their goalie is playing really well, and you got to continue to fight sometimes till obviously the last second. So good job by us sticking with them.
Jay used to have that popular segment, Scrum Lurkers, which I miss.
Yes.
But this was my favorite one because Mike Zeisberger, we missed him being around the National Hockey League, and it's great to see him back, and he was over Leon's shoulder for that entire segment. Bold move to start a guy who's never started a playoff game in goal, no matter how badly your starting goaltender was struggling. But did Calvin Pickard give the Oilers exactly what they need in the sense of no bad goals, no momentum sapping goals, and a lot of really key saves?
The key saves were important, especially early in the game, right? Darnell Nurse takes a penalty 3.5 minutes in, so Vancouver gets a power play, and at that moment, Calvin Pickard really shined, made a bunch of really good saves early. And look, this is a bold move by Kris Knoblauch. It's not a crazy move. It's not just a desperate move, because Calvin Pickard's 32 years old. He's been around for over 100 games in the National Hockey League, at 20 starts this year. A .909 save percentage this season is way better than league average at .903. And he's very different than Stuart Skinner. He's more of a reactionary type goaltender, a lot of action in net. He's moving into pucks. He really controlled a lot of rebounds, didn't give up, second and third opportunities. But, there was the power play early in the first. There was a save on Connor Garland late in the first period. The 2-on-1 saves on Brock Besser in the second period. Those are all moments that are important in a tight game, and Calvin Pickard was really, really good.
The moment wasn't too big for him. Mm-hmm. That's the one thing. Everyone's looking around saying, you know what? How is he going to react? Well, he was fantastic, and he made, as Marty just pointed out, the big saves at the right time. But the team reacted well in front of him. Defensively, I thought they did a really good job blocking 18 shots, not giving up those high-quality chances that we've seen, and especially last game, too many breakdowns where guys were alone in front of Stuart Skinner. That wasn't the case. So you couple that with big saves at the right time and a spirited group in front of you, stick on pucks, blocking shots, forcing everything to the outside. It was great team defense and solid goaltending that led to this win. Calvin Pickard did a great job, but so did the guys in front of him.
I mean, the eye test showed that the team really did a great job defensively, but the numbers also showed that. This was the best defensive performance by the Edmonton Oilers all playoffs when you look at the expected goals against. Only a 1.5 expected goals against. That is the best that the Oilers have done all playoff long.
When we were looking at the start of the playoffs and anticipating a possible all-Canadian matchup in the second round, it was highly possible. They were both favored in their series. Yeah. But who had Shelovs versus Pickard, which maybe
even in the NHL,
maybe the rest of the way in this series right now. Let's hear from JT Miller of the Canucks.
Yeah, it's tough. Fought back. Pretty big. I got to find a shooting lane there, so it's on me.
Does the mindset change when you get the 2-2 goal and thinking just trying to get the game to overtime? Were you guys too passive, do you think, in that last minute?
No, I think I had a rush chance before that. I was in the wrong spot in the D zone and then didn't block the shot, so maybe a breakdown and ended up in the net.
With the power play, you talked this morning about how you guys needed to be better on entries.
I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm tired of talking about it. I'm just going to tell you the same thing.
Are you more upset with the finish, GT, or the way you guys played? Because it seemed like you played pretty well in the second and third.
I'm pretty upset with myself at the moment. That was a pretty big play at the end of the game there. That pass should have never got to Bouchard, and certainly shouldn't get past me, so Hardy can't see anything.
There you go.
So mea culpa there, and you can tell how upset he is. Yeah. Quinn Hughes looked really upset as well. And Farhan asked the question, and obviously when you lose a game like that, they're going to be devastated in the moment. But if you take a step back, which the Canucks will be able to do over the next couple days, you're in a best of three now with home ice advantage, despite being outshot 124-82 overall, an average of 31-20 per game. And this was just another example of a resilient team in that third period.
A huge response in that third period, but I think that's why you're hearing the emotion from JT Miller. He's scrutinizing his own play, but you do have to look at how they, force this game into a near overtime scenario. A couple of greasy goals. That's really what it worked out to be, right? And that was the way that they were going to get to Cal Pickard. Garland in the high slot just throws it at the net. Dakota Joshua was heavily involved in both goals scored by the Vancouver Canucks to tie this thing at 2, because there he is net front, creating chaos and all of that. So, yeah, we saw Garland get the first goal, which gave the Vancouver Canucks some life in that third period. And then Brock Besser tightens things up with goal scorer's goal.
I don't know how to look at this. Do you look at it as Vancouver's in a really good position because they've been outplayed in most of the games and they're even with home ice advantage? Or do you look at it that the Oilers have dominated these last few games and the Canucks are in trouble.
I think if you always have that saying at the start of a series, would you sign off on this? Would you sign off on that? I think the Vancouver Canucks would sign off on a best-of-3 with home ice advantage because you're right. You're on your third-string goaltender, although Sheloffs is not playing like that. Elias Pettersson has not been a real factor in this series whatsoever, so you're hoping for him to wake up. You know, JT Miller just says, hey, I'm going to accept responsibility. To me, Vancouver must feel pretty good of where they're at. And Edmonton, I mean, it's almost a 50-50 split, too, because their starting goaltender wasn't good enough, had to go to their backup. And to me, it could have been a scenario where you could make a case for Edmonton or Vancouver winning all of these games in a sweep. So I don't know. I think they would be happy with it.
I get that Vancouver has to play a little bit differently because it's not Thatcher Demko, but Sheloffs has given them really good minutes now. Got to open it up a little bit. 12 shots in Nashville. You win a game 2-1. And then that crazy comeback, they had 15 shots with 3 minutes left. In this game, they had 16 shots with 3 minutes left. Like, you got to get more pucks to the net, more chances. You're not going to win games by just hanging on defensively and having that low amount of shots.